So Pat Rafter to serve. Love one. First set.
Sorry, mate.
First sorry mate of the evening.
Fifteen love.
On the first night we saw Arazi just tie Pat up in knots with a lot of little chips, a lot of change in pace, a sly serve, and Pat does like the ball coming on, and he will get that from the Ivanisevic racket. On return, Goran takes a pretty good cut at it. He doesn't push too many back.
Love.
It's a little bit of a strain, this serve. It's not the most fluent thing in the world, is it?
No, it doesn't look natural, but it's fairly safe. He's got a great margin over the net, a lot of height.
Game Rafter.
Can't criticise that. Love game to both. But he's got his own type of serve. It's not a full backswing. It's not the full throwing action. But it's very successful for him.
This is the court, too, that it's so deadly on. Not so effective on grass.
Love. Love. Let's second serve.
You could see Goran there after the second serve. He immediately moved to the backhand side looking for a forehand.
Love.
The tough thing about playing Pat Rafter is that you know he's always looking to come in, and you become very wary of dropping the ball short. And he does start to get unforced errors as people try to keep the ball deep and keep him back. It's almost the implied threat wins him a lot of points over the course of a 5-set match in particular.
Oh, he loves doing that, doesn't he? Tosses away the point. Actually, in his last service game, Wally, we saw him do that between his legs. He got a neck cord and won the point.
That's right, that match against Todd Martin. Mind you, for every one he makes, he misses 20. It's such a low percentage shot. Crowd like it.
Second one he tried in that match, he hit his leg harder than the ball. Could have broken his leg.
Game Ivanisevic.
Well, at least there's been a point against the serve, and he leads 2-1.
Is on court, quite capable of generating a lot of money off the court. There's the Rafter box. Now, who have we got? You can see Newcomb and Roach on the far left. There's Tony Roach at the bottom of the screen. They're focusing in on him now, and he's the Australian Davis Cup coach. Newcomb and Roach were a fantastic doubles team, great singles players, of course, but a great doubles team.
Let's pursue.
Late 60s through the 70s.
5 times together, winners of the doubles. Almost invincible.
I tell you what they are too, Bill, they are great mates, those two, and they're fantastic, right at the helm of Australian tennis.
Well, it's terrific that they are, because not all great doubles teams are great mates. For example, by their own admission, Frew McMillan and Bob Hewitt. I mean, Frew told me once I don't think he ever had a meal with Bob Hewitt. And yet they had a fantastic career together.
30 love.
Hardly ever spoke together on court. Didn't need to.
Love.
124, that's very respectable, but Rafter's not known for the big, flat, fast serve. He tends to throw the ball slightly over his head and apply a lot of spin.
Game Rafter, 2-all.
And he has not conceded a point as yet on his serve.
That's why Rafter's serve is so effective on the hard courts. He throws it slightly over his head and he hits it with an enormous kick. So when it hits the hard court, it really bounces up very high and it's difficult to return. Let's see this first serve. You can see the big arch at the back. Goran had in fact stepped in and tried to take that one early.
15 love.
That was a very clever shot. Just skidded it past Rafter.
30 love.
Well, you can see it's almost like cat and mouse, isn't it? Rafter just giving him no pace at all to work with. And Ivanisevic good enough to create his own here.
40 love. Game, Ivanisevic.
Another love game to Goran Ivanisevic.
Ivanisevic leads 3-2.
No breaks, 3-2 first set. Anyway, conditions now are nice, quite much cooler. Doesn't appear to be much wind. It's difficult for us to tell, but not a lot.
love.
Goran's one of the few players I've ever seen slide on a hard court. Most players tend to take small steps to the ball. Goran, on occasion, you'll see it here tonight, he takes a big slide on a hard court.
30 love.
Which must mean that the tread of his shoes is pretty flat or non-existent.
I would hope so. Every time I see it, I wince. I just keep thinking he's going to go over on his ankle, but he's been doing it for years now with no ill effects.
Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
40 love.
Well, there aren't many guys in the world today that can volley like this. Sampras maybe. Of course, Edberg and McEnroe are fine exponents of the volley, but not too many.
He's just got the answer to every volley, really.
3-all.
I'm beginning to think, you know, I know we all talk about Edberg as being the ultimate in volleying skills and everything, but this fellow Rafter, I saw him play a match, I don't know, about a month ago somewhere, and his acrobatic skills on the volley, I thought, were more than Edberg ever did.
Yes, Edberg was very efficient. He never seemed to get get in much trouble. He was a great mover at the net, but no doubt Rafter's, he's in the cash mould, very explosive. And you can see him wrong-footed, in all sorts of trouble, off balance, and he can somehow makes cat-like volleys, even though he's over 6 feet tall. He's got the mobility of a Michael Chang at the net. Now that's the right idea from Goran, but I don't think he has to try to hit that one for a winner. He's got to do to Rafter what Rafter will do to him. Just play the three-quarter ball, come in, because Pat's worst shot is his passing shots, no doubt about it. Return and passing shots he can struggle on, and you've got to make him hit them. Don't give him the freebie.
Love 30.
It's the first time either man has been past 30. In fact, those 2 points are only the second and third points against serve in the whole match. Well, that's a little bit tough, but all the players here know that if you hit a ball that low over the net, it hits the net cord, you're likely to get a very bad reaction off the net. Suddenly, 3 break points. Well, there you are. That bears out what you were saying, Wally.
15-14.
Well, it was a pretty good approach, return there from Pat, but Goran is just guilty of overplaying. The first 3 points of this game, he's tried to hit a clean winner on approach. You don't have to. You've got to make Rafter volley. If you've got the shot that you really think you can put away, by all means, but otherwise make him go for the pass.
Let's for serve.
Oh, that was casual. That was a bad error by Ivanisevic. There's the first break, right out of the blue, and Rafter leads with a break 4-3. During the day for a hit, for a warm-up. So 4-3 with a break, Rafter. And that is actually the only point against the Rafter serve conceded in the match.
Let's for serve.
Oh, gosh. A couple of brilliant returns so far from Goran.
Love 30.
Well, it's tough. Rafter goes to the backhand once, forehand next time. Both occasions he's passed.
(15-13).
Oh, look at that. I mean, the guy's like a sort of leopard leaping on his prey.
30-all.
Well, Goran very annoyed. He had time here. He had plenty of time. Big point, 15-30. You can see there one big step.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mike.
Please.
You'll see that a bit with Pat over the course of the match. He almost gets the yips on the ball toss.
40-30.
I think with Goran, just going back to the point preceding that one, when Pat establishes himself at the net, he is almost impossible to pass. It takes a very good ground stroke to get by him. And he does move back well for the lob, but I think you've got to go over his head every now and then just to add a new dimension. Otherwise, he just starts to blanket the net, and he's not even looking for the lob, and he's almost impossible to get past.
Game, Rafter. Rafter leads 5-3.
And a very good pullback from Love 30 by virtue of incessant attack and absolutely outstanding volleys. Ivanisevic serving to stay in the set. 3-5.
15 love. $30 love.
This is good serving, which will put up his service percentage, which 10 seconds ago was at 37%. Now up to 40. Trying to be just a little bit too cute.
30-15.
Stifled volley there, low.
$40-15.
There's a casual miss.
40-30.
If Goran does come to the net, he's usually a little sounder on the backhand side, technically a bit better that forehand volley. Not a lot of feel.
Deuce. Advantage Rafter.
And that rather wild error gives away set point.
Bill, I just get the feeling that Goran is really playing the man and not the ball. He's got in the back of his mind that Rafter's always looking to get in, overplaying.
And he's missed that too, and he's
Rafter.
livid, and it's the first set to Pat
6-3.
Rafter, and a brilliant set he played in just 25 minutes. Hardly did anything wrong, Pat Rafter.
No, and that's the point. He didn't try to do too much. He just does what's called for. He plays every point on its merits and doesn't overplay, which is something Goran was very guilty of, particularly that first break of serve. And again there, you can see that he's just trying to do too much. He's trying to hit clean winners. Rafter, by contrast, he creates situations. He just keeps the ball back in play and he waits for the absolute right shot to go for it or to get to the net. You can see Goran. He's always one to show his emotions.
We know Pat Rafter is going to stay calm and resolute, but Goran's mind so often in turmoil.
15 love.
Just checking with Mike Morrissey whether that serve is good.
30 love.
It's lovely when he I wonder how many people in the stadium understand that.
Love. Game Rafter. First game, second sets.
Another love game to Rafter. He couldn't be doing much better. He leads 1-love.
Love. Love.
You can see Rafter he's just pushing the ball with no pace. He's almost as if he's inviting Goran to go for something and make an error. Well, that's what Rafter was looking up at, some drizzle.
30-15.
I was just thinking the same thing about Rafter's return of serve, sort of blocking it back and floating it back quite high. If he's playing a Sampras, somebody would be coming in and clobbering that. He knows with Goran he's going to stay back.
Well, I think that's why Goran has to mix it up every now and then just to keep Pat guessing.
Oh boy, that's not going to increase his improve his mind.
And Goran, he's not a natural volleyer, and you can see he does way too much with the racket there, swinging at the ball. But when you've played Pat a couple of times, he moves so well, and he starts to make the court look so small that you do start going for way too much.
40-30. Game, Ivanisevic.
Good serving.
1-all.
It's lucky for him it is good serving, or he wouldn't be winning many games.
Rafter is the antithesis of the modern player. He's a guy, Pat, just checking the court because just a couple of drops of rain, light drizzle have fallen, and these courts tend to get pretty slick when it does rain. But most of the players today are great hitters of the tennis ball. Rafter plays tennis. He really constructs points and thinks his way through a match. You could see there the dampness on the court surface.
Love 15.
Well, Goran has to get a good return. If he can force Rafter to volley up or half volleys in with a chance, but if Rafter can make any decent volley and then establish good position at the net and get balanced, Goran's in trouble.
Very important for Rafter. There is no skidding on this court, no slippery court, because his game being so physical, he goes forward, checks, moves sideways, going to the net. He's got to have good footing.
Let's for serve.
The thing about these hard courts, the court can take a little bit of rain, but the lines can take no rain. They are a different type of paint than the acrylic that goes down on the court surface, and they get unbelievably slippery with just a few drops.
30-15.
Well, you've got to be very good in the return of serve department to push these serves back. They're being mixed up very well by Rafter.
Goran's in a tough situation. If he just pushes the ball back, the Rafter volley's too good, so he knows he's got to go for something. And we're seeing he just doesn't quite have the timing. A lot of errors coming off the return.
Nice deep return then. Terrific first serve percentage coming up from Rafter. In the match as a whole and in this set it's at 78%. It's exceptionally good.
Game Rafter. Rafter leads 2-1.
So Rafter, without any breaks in this set, he conceded a point or two, but so what? He leads 2-1.
15 love.
Well played, Ivanisevic, adopting the role at the net.
Well, this is a good forehand. He's not trying to hit the winner, just heavy, foot inside the line, getting to the net.
Yep, that's more sensible than I'm sure in his mind, because he's always doing little drop shots and little stop volleys and things, which on this type of court don't always work.
You could see Rafter there. He wasn't really trying to pass Goran, just make him play a low volley. A little head fake there, but Ivanisevic did the right thing, hitting it firmly.
Game. Ivanisevic.
Good serving again. Love game for Ivanisevic.
Well, he looked as though he was starting to lose it there after he'd lost the first set 6-3, Ivanisevic, but that's the type of play that he just has to settle down. Oh, look, that's getting heavy. He just has to settle down and play the ball and not the man. Try to cut down on his winners and try to force Rafter into error. And that's the serve that Pat has really worked on over the last year. The fact that he throws the ball a fraction over his head makes the wide serve a tough one. 5 aces each, and that's not bad for Pat, matching it with Goran, but he really has worked on that serve, just getting the ball a bit further to the right and coming around it.
30 love.
And he can do it apparently in both courts.
This really is a serving display here from Pat. He's up around 80% first serves for the match. No wonder he's losing so few points on his serve.
40 love.
And you'd have to think at this point maybe Goran has to crowd him, move back 3 feet, Just change the view, let Pat see something different. Maybe that'll disturb his rhythm, maybe not. But he should try something.
Only the 5th point conceded by him on serve in a set and a half. Rafter holds to 15 and leads 3-2 with no breaks.
For much of last year, Rafter teetered on the edge of tennis stardom, reaching 5 tournament finals but losing every one of them. Then came the big breakthrough, the U.S. Open title, a feat as unexpected as the fame it would bring. The demands on a superstar are many, and for the low-key Rafter, it's been a challenge, adapting to his celebrity and the changing world around him.
It's hard to say what my state of mind was. I still consider the whole 2 weeks just a big blur. I try to sort of sometimes reflect on my feelings, but they're not there. Just went out there and played and everything came together. And when I got to the finals again, I felt pretty confident that this title could be mine.
Rafter wins 3 sets to 1, 6-3, 6-2, 4-6, 7-5.
It was just an amazing sort of couple of weeks of mind. The mind is amazing.
I got my feet on the ground and I don't go to sleep to dream.
Well, the positives are it's something you always dreamed of, I guess. I've been in that situation of winning a Grand Slam title and being recognised. And the downside is being recognised. After the US Open, there's someone on my doorstep in Bermuda when I was there for a few days, and I'm there to try to get away from it, and these people are there, and it's a real shame. But I guess they're looking for a story or whatever, if it's gossipy, and that's what they want. That's why I think a lot of the guys isolate themselves. You wonder why the Beckers, Sampras, Agassiz do that.
In an age of the athlete entourage, Patrick Rafter has gone in the other direction by downsizing his contingent. He's one of the rare touring pros who travels without a coach.
You do need time for yourself. And a coach or a friend or whoever's around you, you know, everyone takes a bit of you. You know, it's a great thing though. I mean, my coaches and everything, they're fantastic, and the people around me are great. You know, I love them all, but they always, you know, there's always something taken that you sometimes need to be by yourself to get back.
As soon as you get your signature, get away, move back.
If someone wants an autograph, I'll do an autograph. They've asked me for it, and I'm giving them the time of day, and I'll do it.
You got your autograph, step back.
When everything comes a bit too much, I can be a little bit blunt, but you know, that's my time too. I just want to stay the same, and I feel like to a degree I've been able to do that.
That's enough.
Unaffected people make me, I don't know, just really excited about that person.
It seems the unaffected Rafter has excited more than just the tennis world. Since last year's Open, he was named one of People magazine's 10 sexiest men.
Probably done up a little too much, but it's something that I still quite enjoy. I didn't catch it. What was said?
She said, pull up your shorts, Patrick!
Pull up my shorts. If someone says it to anyone, I think it's taken as a compliment. I don't have a problem handling it. I don't know if too many men would. I quite enjoy it. And I'm just being myself on the court, and if people like that, and that's great. From a very large family, we're just a very normal, down-to-earth family, you know, everyone, and they just, if you get your head up a little bit, which I did in '94, they just slam you right back down. And now I know not to do that. So I know who I am and what I'm doing, and I guess I have to put that down to my family, I suppose.
And defending champ against Goran Ivanisevic. They couldn't finish it last night. Let's see what happens this afternoon. Ted Robinson, John McEnroe, it's all yours.
All right, Bill. You know what I'm thinking about right now, Mac, is Andre Agassi's got to be fried, and Kuchera both have got to be fried. I mean, they get suspended last night. They were supposed to be playing in the afternoon yesterday. And because of a long doubles match, Agassi and Kuchera are still waiting to come on the court.
I don't understand why they didn't have a definite time for those guys. I mean, give those guys a chance to say, all right, whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, whatever, you know you're going to start the match then. No offense to those guys out there in the doubles right now, but that stadium's packed. And I don't think it's because of the doubles match, right? They're waiting to see Agassi Kuchera, and that's disconcerting. I don't know why they started 11. This is a similar situation for these guys, but at least they knew they were playing not before 1, and Yevgeny was and Thomas Johansson were starting at 11, so they had a better idea of when they might play. We see Patrick Rafter now, 25,
Goran Ivanisevic to serve.
ranked 3 in the world. It's come on real strong this summer. 3 tournament titles we all know about last year. He's had a good start here today, Ted. Already won last night. Won the first set 6-3. Goran Ivanisevic to serve here 2-3 in the second.
Yeah, this has been a match where the dominant serving last night. In fact, Ivanisevic did not have a break point, barely won any points on Rafter's serve in what had already been played. John, I guess if Ivanisevic is on, as he was last night when the second set started, this looks like you could have 3 straight tiebreak sets here.
Oh, there's always that capability. The guy probably plays more tiebreakers than anyone in the game. Serves were dominating. With Ivanisevic, you would say, okay, it's the big serve. With Rafter, you'd say it's the net play. He's had an excellent day, excellent match so far when he's gotten to net. Well, this is tricky for Ivanisevic because he feels, as we look at his stats there, 6'4", 26, saving some money in Monte Carlo. Just 1 title. Wimbledon final for the 3rd time. He feels he's better from the ground, but if he hits a short ball, you better believe Rafter's going to come in, so it's a very fine line for him here.
40 love.
Saying he has to make sure that his groundies are deep.
Keep some good depth, keep him off balance so he doesn't allow Rafter to chip charge. Rafter, you see once again, like he did last night, feeling him out, content to play a couple long points, but you'll soon see that change.
.40-15.
The rackets today, the graphite, you catch a ball late, that's what happens. Missed that way wide. We talked about having to mix it up, and this is a great example right here, and it pays off. He's a big guy, just sticks the racket out, never gave up on it. And of course he had no idea where that was going, but couldn't have asked for a better result.
Good things happen sometimes.
Harry Hopman, the great Australian Davis Cup captain, always said, stick your racket out and take a swing at it.
So it is 3-all second set. And it was a to mention, although Rafter doesn't blow you away with the serve, it's a good one, but he was winning almost all of his games at love last night.
Goran was frustrated that he was able to do nothing, and as of yet is yet to have a break point. That was Tony Roach, by the way, who was helping with Patrick Rafter's career, Davis Cup captain, along with John Newcomb.
Well, there's a better sign, a return finally.
Well, he's clearly got to take advantage of Rafter's second serve. And his ground strokes are underrated. He's got a big game off both sides, evidenced by that forehand return. You mentioned this last night, Ted. Surprisingly, they've only had one previous encounter 2 years ago at Wimbledon, which Goran won in 4 sets. But Goran is clearly his best surface is grass, and Rafter, surprisingly, is not that comfortable on grass. Doesn't like the movement.
That's shocking when you talk about his serve and his net play.
It's surprising that his best results have come here on hard courts. That's not surprising, but the fact he got to the semis of the French last year and had a real shot to beat Bruguera.
Game Rafter.
So Patrick Rafter and Goran Ivanisevic in battle. And the Croat with a great net ball. We're on serve, second set. Ivanisevic now serving. We're on serve in the second set. Rafter won the first. Ivanisevic's first serve percentage has been very low in this match, just 41%. And in large part because of that, he was broken twice by Rafter in the first set. The rare zinc oxide mask. Don't see that very often.
Ball. 40-30.
We've sent John away. Hold your applause down. Only kidding. We've just sent John over to join Bill for the Agassi-Kuchera match. But as soon as he gets over to Stadium 2, I'm sure we'll open him up and he'll be able to rejoin this match until they take the court there.
Deuce.
Just wide.
Advantage. Ivanisevic.
Blast by Ivanisevic. Rafter could only wave at it. Ace number 6.
Game.
And 7. And that was just a great spin serve with location. For Ivanisevic, that was a knuckleball at 101. And here's where he ranks, not surprisingly, on top of the ace list. But how about that break point saved? Again, what that serve can do. But I'd like to find out who has won more first serve points than Ivanisevic. That's hard to believe. Anybody could do that.
$15 love.
Well, I guess I wouldn't be surprising to tell you Sampras is the only player to win more points on first serve. There's the great net play of Rafter.
30 love.
You put the Rafter serve and net game together in this court, and almost reminds you a little bit of Stefan Edberg, the way he played so beautifully here. Great return by Ivanisevic.
30-15.
Goran is making a start here. At least he's winning an occasional point on Rafter serve. The only time they played, which was at Wimbledon 2 years ago, they played 2 tie breaks in 4 sets. This has every indication of doing the same. They've split sets there, and Bjorkman's up a break in the third.
Game Rafter.
Wild on the return, so Rafter holds.
5-4.
Still on serve, second set. All right, David, while Ivanisevic is trying to stay in this set, serving at love 15. Oh, beautifully done by Rafter.
Well, Rafter's got the feel today, Ted. There's no doubt about that.
Love 30.
He had it last night when he came out, had an excellent day at net, and there, the gentle forehand cross court for the winner. Knew he didn't have to take a big swing. Kept it nice and low. 2 points from the second set. Make that 1 point.
What a return. Well, suddenly, Ivanisevic back right into a corner.
Triple set point for Rafter to take a 2 sets to love lead. And a second serve.
Second set, Rafter.
What a game by Rafter.
6-4.
And just when you thought there might be a tiebreak in the offing, Rafter has taken a 2-set lead on Goran Ivanisevic.
So Pat moving 2 sets to love up. Let's look at the rest of the highlights with Goran fighting back to break Rafter, and now he's serving for the 3rd set.
Goran Ivanisevic broke serve. That's right. He just broke Patrick Rafter at 4-all. And now has held to win the 3rd set. Just when you think the Croat might be gone, he is still alive. Goran Ivanisevic just can't stand any prosperity. He was called for a foot fault at 30-all, clearly disrupted him. And Patrick Rafter with a great running forehand winner. An angry Ivanisevic. And it is a break for Rafter. He is up in the 4th set over Ivanisevic. Goran Ivanisevic had 3 break points in the 5th game of the set to get back on serve. He failed to convert the 3rd one, slammed his racket down, drawing his 2nd code violation of the match, a point penalty. That sent Rafter from break point to add. He held, and now Rafter is 1 point away from the match.
40-15.
And of course, Ivanisevic has played since 1 violation away from being defaulted. So Patrick Rafter, the defending champion, moves on just less than 2 hours. Ivanisevic did fight well to come back and take the 3rd set, but Rafter takes the 4th. 6-1. He's on to meet Bjorkman in the quarters.